let's now understand the concept of abstraction, right? So how can we apply that into our automation framework? So for abstraction, we'll be using the page object model, right? So it's a popular design pattern, mostly used with automation frameworks, especially with Selenium automation frameworks. So we'll see how page object model helps us to apply the concept of abstraction into our framework, right? So abstraction, as we have already learned, that it's the art of hiding the essential details and just displaying what is required. Okay, so that is what we are going to do with the help of page object model. So as I said, it's a design pattern. What we do basically in that is we divide our framework into different page classes, right? And this page classes, it contains all the different objects containing of that page, right? So for this purpose, I'm going to use this simple web application. It's a demo banking application. So I'll be using two pages. One is the sign up page and one is the login page. Okay. So now how we design this page object model is we'll have two different page classes, right? So one is for login and one is for sign up. Okay. And inside this page class, we'll have all the different web elements, right, for this particular page, and also the methods related to those web elements, right? So whenever you perform any action on a web element, so that will be contained inside the methods. So everything related to this page will be stored in that page class. And in application, you can have a number of different page classes, right? So which will have its own web elements or page objects. Okay, so this is how the page object model is derived. Okay, so for this purpose, I have written two more test methods, right? So it's nothing, it's a very simple script. I'm not going to show you step by step because it's basic Selenium, right? So I have taken, inspected these web elements. I have found the identifier through which I can identify this different web elements here, right? So there are text boxes, radio buttons, drop downs, right? So buttons. So everything I have identified through different identifiers like ID, XPath, right? And then I'm performing some operations in order to fill this sign up page, right? Similarly for login page, I have created another test method. It is basically three elements, right? Username, password, and then clicking on this sign in button. Okay, so these are the three operations I'm performing. So these are the two different test methods. And now we are going to see how we can structure this differently, right? So right now I have written everything inside a test methods, two test methods. But now I am going to separate my tests from the actual code. Okay, so that way we will uh, obtain abstraction into our framework. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So I'll go to my source main Java and my package. And here I will create another package called page objects. Okay, so this is another package called page objects, and inside this, now I will have two classes. Okay, so one is my login page class, and another one is my sign up page class. Okay, and inside this, now I will define my different web elements along with their methods, which is nothing but the actions performed on those web elements. Okay, so let's pick it from here. Um, what we will do is let's start with the login page. So we will say you can either keep it private or public, but since it will be used inside this page class, it's better to use private, right? So private static string, right? String, and then what's the field? So it's txt and username equals to, and then you can go here and you can pick up this ID, right? Username. Similarly, you can do private static string txt password equals to password, and private static and string, it's a button, so we will say login button. For this, the ID is submit. Okay, so these are nothing but the values of those identifiers. Okay, so similarly we'll do it for sign up now. So that's for the login page. Okay, now for sign up, we will do this same thing. So private static and string, and then so our first value is title. Okay, so and that's a drop down, right? So I'm using some naming conventions, which are the best practices while you are writing any code into your Selenium automation framework. So for this, it is title. So the next is first name. So private static string, and then this is first name. Okay. Similarly, we will have it for the last name. So let's change this and this. And then we have the gender, but this is a XPath. So what we'll do, we'll copy this complete XPath, okay? And this is for gender, right? So this is private static string, and this is a radio button. So gender, and then it's DOB SSN. So SSN is again text, and here we will use SSN. Next is DOB and email address. So txt DOB, and the value is DOB. And then we have also got something called email address. So let's copy the value from our test. And the next thing is password and confirm password. Okay, so let's copy and use these values here. So this is password and this is confirm password. Okay, and we have password and confirm password. And then we have this next button. So let's copy the XPath here. Okay, so this is the submit button, and these are all the fields, right? So basically, these are the identifier values, and this is a combination of identifiers. Some are XPath and some are ID. You can also make everything XPath if you want to make it consistent, but for now, I will leave it as it is. Okay. So now you will see how we reduce all the code here, right? So all the implementation will go into this to login and sign up pages, and here we'll just have call to this different methods. So let's see how we'll do that. Okay, now we need different methods here, right? So our first method is to select the title. Okay, so let's do that. So public static, and we are going to select title here. Okay, so we will pass the title here, which title we want to select. And I will say void here. So what we'll do, we'll copy this code here to here. And what we will do here, we will again extend our base class so that we get the driver instance here. Okay, so before that, let's make this as static. Okay, and okay, so let's make this element. So what we are going to do is we are going to replace this by.id, okay, and we are going to put here dd title, right? So select new select element, and then we will use the title here. So the whole idea here is this becomes now a reusable method, right? Select title. You can pass on any value, not there is no constant value which we are passing here. You can pass any value to this particular method, right? And then if there is any change in your object value here, right, you just need to change it in this particular place. You don't need to change anything in your test or in your method, just need to change this constant value. Okay, so that's the advantage of reusability when we are creating such methods. Okay, similarly, we will create a method for entering text into the first name field. So public stat void, and we'll say enter first name, right? And we will pass here some text. Okay, so we will say select value, and here what we'll do is again we will take this and okay, so now we are going to replace this by.id with our txt first name. Okay, and here it will be value. Similarly, you can have it for different fields, right? So you can have it for last name, and then here you can change it to last name. What else we have for text? You can have it the same way, okay? So let me quickly copy all these fields and then I will change them. So we have SSN DOB. Okay, so here let's change it to SSN. And here we will have DOB. Here we will have email. And here we will have password. Another one will have it for confirm password. Okay, and I think we missed one last name here, so let's put that back. Okay, so last name. So these are all our different methods, right? Now, what we'll do is we will change the objects here. So this is for last name. This is for SSN. This is for DOB. This is for email. And this is for password. And this is for confirm password. Okay. So what else is left? So gender and button. Okay, so these are the two fields which are left now. So let's create methods for these. So public static void, and we'll say click gender, or you can say select gender as well. Select gender. Okay. And then here we will say driver, or we'll just use our existing code which we have written. So this is our code, and we'll go to here, and then here we can now change this, and we can directly use radio button gender. Okay. Now similarly for the submit button, so we'll say click submit, and here we will use button dot click. Okay, so these are all the different operations which you perform on your different objects, and these are all your page objects, right? So everything inside will be inside a page class called sign up page. Now similarly for login page, you will have all your different methods here. Okay, so let's pick up few things from here so that it will be easier. Okay, so here we will have enter username, and here we will have enter password, and here we will say txt username and txt password. Okay, so we will extend our base class here so that we get the driver instance in this page class, and then the final one is the login button. Okay, so I'll pick this again and put it here. Now btn login. So our page class is ready now for login page, right? Now both the page classes are ready, as you can see. Now let's see how we can replace all this code. Okay, so I'll remove this test from here. We'll have just two tests, and I will remove all this code, and we'll see how we can replace them. Okay, so let's remove this code from here. And now you can directly say sign up page dot. Now you see all the methods which are available in this page class, right? So these are all the methods. Now what operations you want to perform, just select those methods. So you want to select title, just pass the value here, Mr. Right? And what you want to do, sign up page dot. You want to enter the first name. So give the first name and dot enter last name. So give script here and sign up page dot. You want to select gender, then sign up page dot. You want to enter SSN, right? So some value here, 867. and sign up page dot enter date of birth. So you can say 01/01/1980 and sign up page dot enter email. So QA script 20@gmail.com and sign up page dot enter password QA script at 123 something, anything you can give here. Similarly, you will have for confirm password. So enter confirm password. Sorry about that. So we need to put that value inside this. Okay. And then finally, we will click on the button. So as you see, it's so simple to use now. We are just have calling the method which is inside this page class, and we are passing the value, right? So these values you can again make it parameterized. You can pass it from a external data source, right? Anything you can do. It doesn't need to be any constant values, okay? Static values. So and our code is much optimized, much cleaner, right? Inside our test, we don't have any details. So that's the basic idea I want to pass it on here, right? So I hope you have got it. So we are hiding the essential details, right? The details which are not required to be displayed here, it will all be contained inside this method, right? So no details or implementation details are displayed in this test. We are just having the methods which are being called, right? All the details are inside our class. So that's the idea of abstraction. We are abstracting the essential details from the user. We are just passing on the details which are just required for this particular test to execute. Okay. And again, you can do the same thing here, right? So this time we are going to uh, call our login page class, and then it has got just 3 methods. So let's quickly do this, and this will be complete after this, right? And login page dot enter password and QA script. Let's pass the password here, 123, and login page dot click submit, right? So these are our 2 tests, right? We are just providing the methods here. No essential details or implementation details are displayed in this 2 tests, right? So that's how we perform abstraction in our framework, right? We abstract our page objects and their methods from the tests, right? Now, if you want, also, I mean, it's a popular interview question, and in Java, there are 2 ways of providing abstraction, right? So either you can use an abstract class, or you can also use an interface, right? And if you're using Selenium as a automation framework, Selenium already has an interface, which we are knowingly or not knowingly using already in our framework, right? So an example of very good example of it is the WebDriver, right? So this is an interface, okay? When we are creating an object, right? Here, driver equals to new Chrome driver, we are creating an object of this particular interface. So interface provides complete abstraction, like 100% abstraction, and abstract class is, it doesn't provide 100%. You can have both abstract and non-abstract classes, right? So this is an example of abstraction, which Selenium already provides you. But if you talk about framework implementation, then this is the way you provide abstraction, like hiding all the implementation details from the tests and keeping it separate from all the page objects and their classes, right? So using page object model, you can um, provide abstraction into your automation framework. Okay, so a very similar and related topic of which is encapsulation, which I will tell you, we have already done that, but I will still explain you in the next video.